So with Christopher Robin out, it immediately made me reflect back on a series that could stand toe-to-toe with everything that makes Friendship is Magic so great. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Seriously, I'm surprised more bronies and YouTubers haven't reviewed this series. Somewhat a continuation of the first movie, like Friendship is Magic, it follows these timeless characters and rather simplistic activities, but because of their timelessness, it makes each episode stand out, and has an irresistible charm to it, with themes and lessons both kids and adults can take away from. And to be honest, I wasn't sure which episode to review since there are so many good ones that hold a special place in my childhood heart, but in the end I decided to go with this one, as being one of the best I can remember. The episode begins with the gang in the blizzard trying to save one of Rabbit's carrots. Now, I could say why in the middle of winter, or why not just grow it inside if it's that special, but I'd rather focus on Pooh being Pooh when he forgets the hot water bottles.
Water bottle! Pooh, water bottle. I believe it's in Rabbit's house.
Of course, and we wouldn't get to the plot, I would see a bit of Rabbit's character that he'll at least pick a baby bird's life over a vegetable, even if reluctantly.
Forgive me.
Also, yes, he's a he. Now I know some of you knew this, but bear in mind, I could not be the only kid who saw with his voice and even personality that he seemed more feminine. But no, he's a he. His voice actor is just that, and he's always referred to as a he. So after his house gets wrecked, we're then introduced to a new character of the series, Cassie.
She's going to be in no trouble at all. Rabbit.
Yes, she's adorable, but kind of falls into the same trap as Nyx does if you've read past sins. She's not annoying or without character, but most of her charm comes from her cuteness and relationship from her parent figure, in this case Rabbit, as he decides to raise the orphan bird. Even because he thinks he's the only one who can do it, which turns out not to be easy.
Rabbit. Oh. Back, you monster!
And here I thought Connie and Summer had it rough. Fast forward as we see Cassie grown up. I kind of like how they did this instead of just being a baby the whole time. That said, it does feel like a lot happened between these two scenes we didn't get to see because of the 20-minute time crunch. But enough of that. It's time for Tigger to be the bane of Rabbit's existence. He gets to be the cool uncle, and then repeats a day for Tigger and gets stuck in or the tree falls over onto a ledge. Okay, seriously, what is it with every place in the world having at least some 100-foot drop cliff? They're dangerous. They're dangerous enough to get Mommy Rabbit running. I can't be the only one! Someone please say they were too in the comments. However, it's not enough as Cassie falls. Oh, wait, she's a bird. Sure, it's tense, but not enough to... Oh my, yeah, this story could have had a very different ending. So then Owl swoops in to save Cassie and offers to teach her how to fly. Rabbit, however, says no. Though like any child, and because Cassie falls more in line with Nyx than a Mary Sue, she tries to go against Rabbit's wishes and learns to fly. To which Pooh intervenes to take lessons from the CMC. Yes, like we honestly would try that in real life. Although this is a strong case of why children getting into a little trouble from time to time can be a good thing. Builds character and gets them out of their comfort zone. Like, take my fandom nephew Sketchpad for example. Such a sweet little thing, isn't he? Although, I'm not trusting his parents to not raise him into a, sheltered cinnamon roll. So, I have taken it upon myself to be the cool uncle who gets him into trouble every once in a while. Like just last week, we went bungee jumping, all without his parents being the wiser. And next week, we'll be riding a hoof-built rocket. What? Oh, hey, Summer, you, hear about Boris and Ash having a kid?
First of all, they had 2 kids. It was twins. Second of all, yes, I know I was there. Now, what in the name of Celestia do you think you were doing with my baby, AJ?
To my defense, I heard Cybergamer was going to take him and the girl skydiving next week. Alright, well, needless to say, Rabbit isn't too happy either when he... Hey sis, I wasn't the only one who thought Rabbit was a girl, right? Please tell me.
What do you mean, girl? Rabbit is a dude. I always knew this even as a kid. Though, admittedly, he can act a bit like a sissy at times. Now then, give me one reason why I shouldn't call up Connie or...
Anyways, he's not happy about this. And even a little hurt, holding Cassie back just because he's afraid of her getting hurt. Sure, understandable, but is it right? Is it possibly selfish? And isn't it the responsibility of us uncles and aunts to help our nieces and nephews step outside their comfort zones?
AJ, well, you may have a good point there. There is a massive difference between not sheltering a child and just being reckless. Cassie was obviously a fledgling, and therefore old enough to try and start flying on her own. On the other hoof, Sketchpad is still just a baby. He's too young to understand what danger is, and things like bungee or rocket jumping are too dangerous for him.
It was only a 5-foot drop. So, how about some chocolate-covered tangerines? My treat to the best, most kind-hearted sister ever.
Oh ho ho, no you don't. You can't bribe your way out of this one. Now, hand over that rocket, or so help me, I will sick both temper and deep ending on you.
Well, not to die. I shall follow this episode and Tigger's lead and do what she says.
That's better.
Even if it's a bad idea.
Huh?
And just let go of that. But right now.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'm sure that's going to bite me in the butt later. Oh well, that's future AJ's problem. Now, let's see how Rabbit makes it out of this alive.
Oh, why didn't I stay in my garden with my nice safe carrots?
And so a scene that would typically be triumphant in any other circumstances is immediately met up with sadness as Rabbit realizes what this means.
Boy, kiddo, there's nothing holding you down now. Don't you think I know?
And if that wasn't heartbreaking enough...
Rabbi, would you read me one last bedtime story?
You don't need me to read you a bedtime story. You don't need me for anything.
Now, is it selfish for Rabbit to be acting this way? Possibly, but I, along with many others, didn't view this as a kid. Personally, I saw it more as Rabbit trying to distance himself so he can deal with his emotions better. He did spend a minimum of half a year raising Cassie as his own kid. Rabbit is a character of order and predictability. If anything disturbs that order, he'll stress out. To me, it's just him dealing with the fact Cassie will leave soon, by acting like she's already gone, which makes what happens next a little confusing. It's time for Cassie to leave. Everyone but Rabbit is there to say goodbye since he's...
Where is it? There it is.
Yeah, there's a scene missing here, I'm sure of it. Like maybe there is a legit deleted scene, but from the version I have, it felt like he just went from not caring to suddenly caring. There should have been a scene where Rabbit was still distancing himself, only to realize he had to say goodbye. Let me know if such a deleted scene in the comments exists. I'm sure it did somewhere, but anyways, he does realize how important Cassie is to him, and so he races off to hopefully make sure Cassie knows how much he loves her before she leaves.
I changed my mind. You can fly. Just don't go away, Cassie.
Yeah, so let it be known. Love what you have now rather than dreading it won't be there tomorrow. No, that would just be too much of a downer for a Disney afternoon show. Cassie does at least come back to say goodbye, and it's happy all around. However, what keeps it from feeling like a cheap ending is that Cassie still flies north, and we're left with this for the ending.
It's the most peculiar thing. For the longest time, I thought Rabbit didn't like her.
You know, Piglet, sometimes people care too much. I think it's called love.
Oh, do you think we should tell Rabbit?
Don't worry. I believe he already knows.
What's even more surprising is that we never see Cassie again until another series came along. And as much as I would have loved an episode where Cassie did come back, I think the fact we never did was a good thing. Winnie the Pooh was, in a way, a show and series about the transition from childhood to adult. Maybe not directly, but it's episodes like this that makes it so great, as it's about learning how to let go, without letting go, of that love.